To understand this, we should see the mind as being like the empty space within a soap bubble. Imagine a child blowing a round bubble that floats in the air. Our mind is like the empty space within that bubble. The emptiness inside the bubble and the emptiness outside are actually the same. They cannot truly be separated. The only difference is that the bubble encases part of this emptiness, making it appear separate. The mind of the freedom, the mind of the non-self, and our own minds are essentially the same. They do not differ. The Buddha's mind and the Arahant's minds are like the emptiness outside the bubble, pure and unbounded. Our minds too are empty, and there is no real difference between them. They are fundamentally the same. However, our minds are encased within the soap bubble. Now, when a child blows a bubble and it encounters the wind, the bubble bends and shifts, moving according to the external factors affecting it. This is how our mind works within the body, within this vessel. The thin film of the bubble represents ignorance, which is our thoughts, emotions, and attachments that cover and distort the pure emptiness within. This empty mind does not know that it is already pure. Why doesn't it realize this? Because there has been no one to tell it. It has no words to describe itself, no way to speak. It relies on thoughts to instruct it. Therefore, the bubble ripples, distorts and reacts, creating emotions and thoughts as it does so. And these thoughts and emotions arise to help teach the mind. The thoughts instruct the empty mind, saying, "O mind, you are only a natural awareness. You are naturally empty, with the sole function of knowing. I am the thoughts and emotions. I think and feel constantly. I'm always shifting, rippling, creating new forms. I am merely the soap film encasing you." This is how thoughts instruct the mind, while the mind simply knows, aware of the thoughts rippling. Thus, the thoughts and emotions teach the mind about its true nature, and the mind learns to see them as simply arising and fading due to external factors, without attaching to them. The mind, as pure awareness, fulfills only the role of knowing. Don't let yourself be foolish and cling to me. Don't mistake me for yourself. I am just a thought. Thoughts instruct the mind, while the mind remains aware. Ah, thought is rippling, it's creating impressions, and it's teaching itself. The mind must recognize this and see itself as simply the knowing nature. Awareness perceives thought, and thought instructs the mind, while the mind perceives thought. This is called wise reflection. As the mind is repeatedly instructed, over and over, wisdom and understanding arise. The mind will then spontaneously gain insight, realizing, "I am merely the emptiness. I am simply the knowing nature. I am not related to the nature of thinking." Then thoughts, memories and emotions exist in their own realm, bending, rippling and shifting according to causes and conditions, like wind that moves them. They are not real. They are a natural phenomenon. I am purely the knowing nature, aware of these constructions. Why then would I cling to them? They are here and there, born of conditions. As understanding arises, wisdom is born. With constant instruction, the mind begins to awaken and see, "I am just the knowing nature. I am not the constructed thoughts." The mind instructs itself repeatedly, awakening again and again, more frequently, until it is fully awake at all times. This is the way the mind develops wisdom to free itself from ignorance's control. This is clearly illustrated by the example of the soap bubble. When the mind gains wisdom, it sees that it is the knowing nature, an empty nature, not the film of the bubble. The film may ripple and distort due to causes and conditions. It is merely a natural process that cannot be controlled. while the emptiness remains unaffected. When the mind realizes this and wisdom arises, it becomes clear that thoughts are merely a natural process. This awakening creates strength, a strength that comes from wisdom. This inner emptiness gains strength, pushing and penetrating through the bubble's film, causing it to burst. This empty nature merges with the emptiness outside, becoming one with it. The bubble dissolves entirely, and the mind becomes unified with its original nature, liberated from the cycle of rebirth. The process is as simple as this. Teaching oneself is essential, from waking until sleep. By not doing anything, I mean the mind doesn't need to consider anything else. It has only one task, to be aware of thoughts as they arise. When we say to be attentive, it doesn't mean to try to focus or force awareness. Simply understand deeply. Understanding is key. Once you truly understand, there is no need to worry. The mind will naturally refine itself and become more frequently awake until it reaches constant awareness from waking until sleep. Finally, the bubble of ignorance will burst completely, returning to the original state of empty nature, becoming one with the entirety of nature. It's as simple as that. Therefore, self-instruction is of utmost importance.